It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another Fear the Walking Dead video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at some promotional photos that were recently released by AMC for the first 4 episodes of Season 5 of Fear the Walking Dead. First up, we have some images for the first episode, Season 5, Episode 1, the premiere of Season 5. So first, we have this picture of Althea. We do see tons of pictures with Alicia and maybe even Naomi and also Althea at this gate. We see a couple of shots of them in this area in the promotional teasers and trailers as well. Then we have this shot of Alicia and Althea in the same location. This shot of Alicia again in the same location. This picture of John, the same location. Then we have this shot of Alicia, again, same exact location near this fence. Maybe they're trying to get through it. Then we have this shot of Alicia. Again, I think this is from the same area or same exact location even. Then we have this shot of Naomi. Then we have this shot of a new character who we're going to be introduced to in Season 5. This character is going to be named Dylan. Now Dylan is going to be introduced at the same time most likely as another character who we will see in a little bit. We've seen him in the trailers as well, but his name is Max, and also another female character, a younger character like Dylan and Max. Her name is Annie. So I think all of these 3 characters are going to be introduced at the same time, and they're most likely going to be from the same community. Then we also have this shot of Dylan. He's in some sort of restaurant or some sort of building. They have a lot of canned food with them, which is very interesting. Not something that you would find at this stage in the game, this far into the apocalypse, so that's very interesting. Another shot of Dylan here. Then we have this shot of Annie. Now Annie, like I said, is most likely gonna be with Dylan and Max. Now I think this is the exact same location that we see Dylan in. Then we have this shot of Alicia. I think Alicia is in the same building as well. So maybe all of these are connected. Maybe they do break in through the fence that we saw previously and they enter this building, and that's where they meet this new group, and they find that they have all of these supplies. Then we have this shot of Charlie standing by the SWAT truck. Then we have this shot of Wendell by his truck. That's a different truck than the SWAT truck or Althea's SWAT truck, but he's holding his shotgun like a badass. A pretty cool shot of him. This shot, which is a pretty cool one, we have Charlie, Wendell, and Sarah all pointing their weapons at someone. Now this might actually connect to the next shot, which is this one, which is another new character that we're going to be introduced to. His name is Logan. I think those 2 pictures are related. We have Wendell, Sarah, and Charlie pointing their weapons at this new character, Logan. The 3 characters, Wendell, Sarah, and Charlie, might actually be waiting near the exact warehouse or the area where Althea, most likely Naomi, and also Alicia are trying to get into. And that might actually be where Max, Dylan, and Annie are holding up. And who knows, maybe even they're all from the same community. Dylan, Max, and Annie, and also Logan, who we see here. Then we have this shot of the same exact kind of abandoned warehouse or building. I think that's Morgan in the back. Then we have this shot of Max and Dylan. This connects to a shot that we see in the trailer. Down! Then we have this shot of also Dylan and Max. This shot of a pretty cool walker right here. Then we have this shot of a walker with a pole going through its chest. Now the walker seems like it's in some sort of riot gear, which is pretty cool. It's actually reminiscent of Season 4 of The Walking Dead. Remember Glenn, Tara, the prison. We have Althea in the background. Then we have this shot of, I think, the plane crash in the background. And also Max and Dylan. Now we don't know the extent in which Max, Logan, and Annie are going to be connected to the plane crash. They might not even have anything to do with the plane crash or the plane in general. Then we have this shot of also Max and Dylan. This shot of Althea coming across this sort of hazmat suit, which is pretty interesting. Now I think this is again at the same exact location where the plane crashes, so that's pretty interesting. This shot as well. Now she is recording herself or recording what she's finding if you pay attention at the bottom, which is pretty interesting. Then we have this shot of John again at the same exact place at the plane crash. Then we have this shot of Althea. This shot of Alicia killing a bunch of walkers. Again, I think this is by the plane crash. If not the exact same location, then very close to it. We see some debris in the back that does hint at this being the exact same location as the plane crash site as well. This pretty cool shot of Alicia. I love this picture. It actually reminds me of a particular shot of Rick Grimes back in season 8, was it? I think it was season 8 during All Out War. I'll try to find the picture and put it on top of this image. Then we have this shot of Morgan and Alicia. I think that's the plane crash in the background. This shot of Morgan, it's the plane crash in the background. It's pretty obvious here. Then we have this shot of Alicia and this shot of a Walker and Max, and another one of Dylan and Max together with the plane crash in the background, and this messed up looking Walker. Love the way this Walker looks though. Like, look how realistic this Walker is. And we're like right in its face. So that's pretty cool. Love the zombie effects and the makeup that they're using for the walkers in season 5. And another picture here of another walker with its intestines around its neck. We see a shot in the trailer that may be connected to this here, which is connected to the roadblocks that we might see in season 5 of Fear the Walking Dead. So that's pretty cool. So with that, let's move to the photos for season 5 episode 2. We have this first shot of 2 walkers trying to get to these birds who are on this bird cage. Pretty cool shot. That walker is pretty disgusting. Then we have this shot of Morgan with his bow staff. Pretty cool shot. Then we have this shot of some walkers. These are most likely the same exact walkers that we saw a couple seconds ago. The one to the right is super disgusting, like I said. Then we have this shot of Alicia, another pretty cool and badass shot of Alicia. Then we have this shot of Strand. He's holding his hands up and it seems like someone has him at gunpoint. Now what's very interesting is this, I think, is from the exact same scene we see in the trailer, where he's held at gunpoint by none other than Daniel Salazar.
I'm aware I have a distinctive temper. Hearing it now, seeing my face, removing all doubt, you may be inclined to instantly pull the trigger, perhaps involuntarily.
You still talk too much, Victor.
I think this is taken straight from that. So that means that Daniel Salazar will return in episode 2, which is a pretty big reveal that we can get from this. We have this shot of Naomi trying to fix the car maybe, or trying to get it running. We have this shot of John, not sure what he's doing. This shot of Naomi as well. This shot of Naomi and John together. Naomi's looking at this bullet casing. Maybe they're trying to figure out who might have been here or something along those lines. Then this shot of Naomi and John. I just remembered, I keep calling her Naomi, but her name is actually June. I'm gonna try to remember to call her June. Then we have this shot of John. Another one of June and John. Now June is talking through the walkie-talkie. Not sure who she's talking to, but there is a chance, very low, but there's a chance that this could connect to what we saw in the finale of season 9 of The Walking Dead. We had someone coming in through the radio trying to contact Alexandria, and that's all of the photos that we have for the second episode. So with that, let's jump into the third episode. Before moving into the third episode, I do want to mention something real quick. Going back to this episode, episode 2, take a look. We have John, June, and maybe Morgan and some others. They are in some area and it's nighttime. Now, if you look at the trailer, there is a bit in the trailer where it seems like it's the exact same location and the exact same setting. And we have, at that point in the trailer, the reveal that Dwight is there.
Morgan.
Dwight?
Do you know each other?
So we might actually see at the very end of episode 2 a reveal that Dwight is around. So him crossing over is going to actually happen in episode 2. Then in episode 3, which is connected to this picture, we might actually have Dwight's story. We might actually start episode 3 with explaining what happened to Dwight, how he got to where he was when we saw him in the previous episode. So that could be what might end up happening. So we have a picture of Dwight with his axe here, a pretty cool shot of Dwight. Absolutely love this shot. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Dwight and how they're going to explain how he crossed over. Then we have this shot of Alicia killing a walker. Now, if you pay attention, it seems like we have the walkers connected with their intestines around their bodies. We do have a scene from the trailer that might actually be connected to this. And they're trying to cut off the intestines to get through. So these are the roadblocks that we saw. So that could be connected to what we see here. And if it is, it's very interesting because Dwight is introduced in this episode and we have the roadblocks that we might actually see, and that might actually be set up by Dwight. It's hinting at that. And if that's true, then we could be seeing a scenario where Dwight is actually doing exact same stuff that the Saviors did back in season 6. But this time, it's Dwight doing it, not Negan and the other Saviors. So that's another cool and interesting way that they might have this story go. We have this shot of Lucy. She's injured. We know she's injured. We know she heals. We know that because they pretty much showed that to us in the trailer. But she's going to be healing in episode 3. But she's probably going to be injured either in episode 3 or one of the episodes before that. We have this shot of Luciana in the back, Alicia and Morgan. I think this is connected to the ending of the previous episode. So this is probably where they're gonna actually meet Dwight for the first time, or the others, not Morgan, because he knows Dwight. But it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with that storyline. This shot of June and John in the background. Now it seems like they're in this city that we see in the trailer as well. And what's interesting, if you go back to the trailer and play that clip, there's a part where John turns around and someone holds a gun to his head. Now, I think it is safe to assume that perhaps what might happen is the person that has John at gunpoint is Dwight. So Dwight might actually have John hostage. And then later on, when they find Dwight and Morgan introduces them to Dwight, Dwight might actually let John go. This shot of June kissing John, June here. Now I think this is in the same exact location where they meet Dwight as well. Could be wrong about that, but it might be exact same location. And that's basically everything for episode 2. So with that, let's move into the final episode that we have pictures of, episode 4. First one we have of Strand, and we have a plane in the background. Obviously, this is not the same exact plane that we see in the trailer because that plane crashes. So this is another plane. Very, very interesting. Not sure the connection between these two planes, but that's going to be very interesting. This shot of Strand, Wendell, and Sarah. This shot of Strand. Then we have this shot of Charlie. Then we have this shot of this walker. Now, if you pay attention, it seems like this might be one of the same walkers that we saw in the roadblocks in the previous episode. So it could be connected to that. Not sure why they might have that roadblock happen in multiple episodes or why they might be going back to it, but it's pretty interesting. Then we have this shot of Sarah and Wendell. And that's the final photo. So these are the photos. I hope this video wasn't super long. It probably was, but I tried to get through them as quick as possible. But I want to know everyone's opinions about these photos. What do you think about Season 5 in general and these photos that were released? That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe for more content, and press the bell button to receive notifications for daily uploads.